Today we're talking about the 5 reasons why an INFJ excels at the road less traveled. You know that the INFJ in itself is somebody who doesn't want to do what everybody else is doing. But today we're going to talk about why this is actually the place where we excel the most, and why, if we have the chance, we should always choose that path if it is in alignment with what we want. And very often, people, not just INFJs, are afraid of going that road because we're going to be alone. We don't have that many role models who have walked that path before. But today we're going to talk about why this path in itself is the place where your chances to excel are the biggest as an INFJ, and why you should never neglect the opportunities that the path less traveled has in store for you. Before we get started, I'll remind you, if you haven't done this so far, to download the poster on the 5 pillars to an INFJ Epic Life. And if you want to take it to the next level, then join the INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp. Please sign up for the waiting list. You get access to the early bird price and get notified when we go live. The next live round launches at the end of January, and I'm really excited to see you there. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. Reason number 1, the INFJ has a smaller need for inclusion. Every human being has a need for inclusion. It's, part of our setup as a human. We need to feel part of a tribe because that's how we survive and so on. But the way INFJs are set up, this need in itself is not that strongly developed. You will see this with other types way more. And that in itself makes the path less traveled way more attractive for INFJs. Because if we look around us, barely anybody does that. Most people do what most other people are doing. And so this is one of the reasons why INFJs, although they would want to go that direction, are not taking it. Because it seems like, maybe I'm wrong that I have this urge to go that path. There's something, that I haven't thought about, because apparently nobody else seems to think that's a good idea. But remember, your need for inclusion is much lower than others. So this path might be great for a lot of people, but most people are not willing to pay the price because the price that they're paying is much higher than yours. Reason number 2. The INFJ is great at creating something out of nothing. The way our functions are set up, we have to be aware that we are best when we're in a situation where we're sort of in a black box. Where we create something without much structure, without many rules, where we have the capacity and the possibility to create our own logic, to create our own dynamic with things, and we don't have to apply by already built up rules that set the entire system up. So every single time an INFJ has the chance between 2 positions, and the one will be a place where they can create something where barely anything exists, let's say in a startup, and in a place where it's very rigid. There are rules, you have to play by all of them, you have to obey them, and you pretty much have to play the game that has already been written to you. You will see the INFJ will have a much bigger success at the first one, where they create something out of nothing, because that's the place where the INFJ, in comparison to other types, excels. This is made for our mental makeup. This is how our functions work the best. Other types are going to be much better in the place where the rules are set, where they play by those rules, and they excel in those areas because they can follow the rules so well. This is not a place an INFJ is good at. This is not a place an INFJ enjoys. But on the path less traveled, you as an INFJ have way more chances to create something out of nothing. And that skill in itself is something that the INFJ is incredibly good at. Reason number 3 is our vision doesn't crumble. The INFJ is really good at keeping a vision, although reality shows us or tells us otherwise. You know this and you see this all the time. No matter what's going on, even if everything around us is not going in the direction we want, we will be very stubborn in our vision. And that can be very positive. That can be also very negative. A negative example for this would be we continue to hold on to a possible love connection with somebody who doesn't seem to want to call us back. or wants to talk to us or wants to have anything to do with us. And you keep telling yourself, no, we had this one moment and we had this connection. It was so great. And the reason why this is not happening right now is because of this, and this. And we keep holding on to that vision. So this is an example of keeping on to a vision that isn't the most, helpful one. And, I've been in that situations more than once. That's why I can laugh about it. But I know this is something INFJs struggle a lot with. So I have complete empathy with everybody who's in that situation currently. And sometimes you just have to laugh about all of the pain we have caused ourselves by continuously making the same mistakes. But, in situations like this, we just have to learn to incorporate a little bit of externally observable facts, how I always say, as in looking at facts that cannot be denied. That person has called me, that person has, shown active interest, whatever it may be. And this doesn't just concern romantic relationships, it's with everything. Just to kind of double check, just to make sure that we use a little tiny bit of those facts that cannot be denied. Those externally observable facts, how I love to call them. But this tendency of ours can be extremely beneficial too. And it is that it allows us to keep on to our vision when, it doesn't seem to be something that might be super successful, but we know it might work. And if we double check here and there, and those things are telling us it's still possible, that's when we hold on to it. And on the path less traveled, that is one of the qualities that will make us excel. Because before things turn amazing, before things are, visible to the outside, we have to believe them. And we have to build up on something. And we have to put effort into it, and conviction and mindset work, right? We have to really believe in that and stick to that. And guess what? That's something INFJs are really good at. So remember, our vision doesn't crumble. And that is one of the reasons we're going to excel on the path less traveled. Because let's think about it. The path less traveled means that there aren't many people who have gone before us, maybe nobody. So all you have is your vision. And most people will fail at that they don't have enough evidence that it is possible, and they give up before they actually win. Reason number 4, why the INFJ excels on the path less traveled, is that we create a story around our path. And that story is always filled with emotion. If you want to stay on path with something, it's not enough to just rationally think about, oh, this makes sense. No, you have to feel excited about it. And what are we good at? We are good at creating emotions. We're good at creating a story, a possible story with somebody else, a possible story about how our life could be in this new city or this new job or whatever it may be. And when it comes to a path where you don't have any evidence for it to happen, this emotional story that you're creating is going to be the thing that will keep making you move forward, because it will be the reason you will continuously think about that, why you will get positively addicted to that path, why you will get positively addicted to that vision, because just the thought of it makes you happy. The thought of it makes it exciting, because you're able to create an emotion around it once you start thinking about it. Reason number 5, why the INFJ excels at the path less traveled, is because the INFJ is ahead of their time. The way we are set up, we're visionaries. We all know that. But that means that we continuously think about the future, and we create the future, and we live it before it's something that everybody is aware of. And you know this about yourself. It might be your interest in some kind of hobbies, in fashion, in, some science, in NFTs, in, cryptocurrency. It doesn't matter. Just any kind of interest of yours. How often have you been excited about something and then years later everybody else caught up? Probably at a moment where you're already off to the next thing. And this is not just about hobbies. This is also about the way you see life, the way you see certain situations, how our culture is thinking about certain things. Very often we are ahead of our time in how we see the world. And so that in itself will help you, because in order to create something on the path less traveled, you have to create something. You have to be excited about something before anybody really cares about that. And once you've done this, you will get to a place where people actually are able to see what you have created. So the moment when you've already put in all the work, that's the moment when other people get excited about this one thing, right? So for example, let's say you would be really excited about creating some kind of flowers, right? You are somebody who, mixes some kind of seeds and you create this amazing flower. And this is like something that's going to be huge in 5 years, but you're already getting excited about it today. You start creating it, you start analyzing it, you start perfecting it, and before you know it, those years have passed. So once people get excited about this, because this becomes like a social norm, you have already created something that people can see. And guess what? People want to hop on a train that is already, going. People don't want to, join your vision once it's just in your mind. People want to join a vision once they see that this thing is already moving, that this has already created some motion, that this has created some kind of emotion and some kind of, energy around it. And so that is a place where you as an INFJ will excel the most, because you as an INFJ will have had the time to create something before people start paying attention to that topic. And the moment they start paying attention to it, you will have already created something that is visible. And this doesn't just apply to, creating a business or anything like this. This is about how you live your life, what kind of values you have, what kind of things you follow, like just your way of thinking. I, for example, believe the things we talk about here are going to be something that people are going to be all aware of in 10, 20 years. It's going to be something that society in general is going to be way more aware of, way more keen of, and we as INFJs are already at the forefront of it. So use this for your path less traveled. Ask yourself, how can I choose a life where I can follow that path less traveled and through that create the INFJ epic life on your terms? Remember, if you want some more guidelines how to make that happen, then get the poster on the 5 pillars to an INFJ epic life. And if you want to take it to the next level, join us at Bootcamp. The next live round of the INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp goes live end of January. So make sure you're on that waiting list to get access to the early bird price and get notified once we go live. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video of the exceptional learning curve of the INFJ.